want to look at your 3 pieces of communication that are extremely valuable. The first is a floor plan. So let's look at something. We'll draw a little table and we'll make it square. Our theme is square today, cubes. So after you've decided on a width, then give it a depth. So that's my width. Then you give it a depth. So we'll do a little square table, but we want to see what it would look like if we just looked straight down on top of it. And that's what floor plans are. They're as if you cut the wall at 5 feet and you hover over everything at the same time, just looking directly straight down. So that's the top of our table. We'll do a side view, and it just so happens to be square along the side view too. So I can actually drop this down to do this part. And when you look at it from the side, this is called an elevation. So our table is going to have some thickness. And it's also going to have a pedestal leg. So let's find where the middle is so we can put that leg in the middle. And right where the X is, the center of the X is, that's the center for our table. We're going to have a little base on it, like that. And you're always thinking symmetry, so you try to put this the same distance on either side. And it's going to have a nice little sculpty thing here, little sculpty. And keep watching your symmetry. Now, we don't show any perspective here whatsoever. Top has nothing, but let's put something. You never put a table in without putting things on top of it. So we'll have a vase of flowers, maybe at least a vase of flowers. We'll try putting a book on top or a magazine or something, but we'll see if we can do that. Now put it at the same angle as this. Maybe it's sitting here, a book. And we're putting it at a 45-degree angle, because this is 45. It's bisecting a 90-degree angle right in half. So it's going to be at a 45. And our vase is going to have a tiny bottom and a bigger waist. So we've got that looking like that. We're going to put this below eye level, so we can put our eye level up fairly high. Now use your whole arm. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you go too fast, you get a curve. so you kind of go a little slower. We're going to look at this from the side, so let's put our vanishing point over to the right again. That's our VP, and this is our eye level. So you're standing over here to make your drawing. And you're well in front of the table. It's in front of you, so it's sitting out in front. Our table is in front of us, so we want to make our equal-sided box out here. And once you have this, we want it well below eye level, because the more below eye level it is, the more of the top we're going to see. So let's take our height and make it the width as well. And then we use our vanishing point. So don't press hard, just do it very, very lightly and use your whole arm. It also makes sense to stop and look at your box, even though we measured it with the piece of paper, and make sure it looks like an equal-sided box to you. Because we can be a little off. We have to keep looking. I always forget to do that myself. Now, y'all remember we do our half. We find the middle. And no one believed me last time, but remember you have to do less than half. A little bit less than half. And turn it sideways. And then from there, you're just trying to find the same box, but smaller at that distance, that particular distance. So I want this line, so I go up to the perspective line, because that's how I drew that line. And I want the top line, so I go this way, because that's how I drew that top line. And then I've got this corner. Now, my corner lined up. What you'll notice, too, is your tendencies. My tendency is to go too high with this line. I know that. It happens to me every single time I do this. So now I'm compensating for that, and I believe the bottom. You'll notice that, too. There'll be one thing that you do all the time, and you can correct it. You just have to watch for it, and it'll happen, so you just watch for it. So we're going to put a thickness on. Our thickness for the top. And don't forget to use your vanishing point for this part, because we're looking for this to appear smaller than that. If it doesn't, then you know you're off. I'm going to make a little X at the bottom here to find the middle, because I want to find out where my pedestal is. So there's my center. Now, I've got this little fella on the bottom here. So I'm going to put that in a box too. So I decided how far I wanted to stretch its leg. And I just bring that across. And where it crosses my blue line, I go the other way and I use the vanishing point. This is the device that you'll use so often for so many things. So it's gives you the ability to draw a box the same proportion but smaller or larger. You could extend to make it larger. And now here's our center line. Remember we had the center line here. So we draw that up. And this time it doesn't matter. We're not going to see the result of it on the top of the table. It's hidden. Now, let's look at our legs a little more close up. If we look at our legs, we've got a box now to put them in. And we made an X so we know where the legs are going to go. We're just going to put 4 in to make it easier. So we're going to put an angle at the corners. Now this looked really simple, didn't it? But now it's getting a little more complicated. So let's make a little box here and pull it across. That'll be one leg. Make a little box here and pull it across. That'll make another leg. So see where the center is? You put that vertical. Where this one is, you come across, make a box, and come across. And make a box, come across. And that'll give us the correct place for our pedestal. And that's how it looks. It has a side and a top and a front. So a side, a top, and a front. Each leg has it. And the distant one is the smallest looking one of all. And these others are larger. And that one looks positively stretched out, doesn't it? But that's how it will look, and it'll keep it from looking too funny. So here we go. First job is to make a straight line, a little bit of a line. Then bring them up, make another line. So those boxes are actually in 2-point perspective, and they go to a vanishing point out there. But we don't have it as reference, so we're just eyeballing it. But it's at a 45-degree angle. And what we're doing is getting some practice at turning these boxes into furniture. It's important that we start to think about it now and relate that to the geometric shapes and the cube as well, because everything we draw is going to come from a cube. And about halfway was where we had that little round dot. It's about halfway in the whole thing. So bring that across. Bring it back. Now, this table is below eye level, so if there's some detail on this, it would roll under because it's these are more beautifully shaped usually too. They kind of round up at the end, and you could just round them up. And then we could find the middle of our table on the top. And that will be where our vase is going. Keep an eye on your symmetry. So if you put a vertical line down the center, that'll be great. Maybe we'll make it slightly different than the table leg, the pedestal.